Hi everybody, I hope you had a nice weekend. I want us to take some time in class today to practice taking notes from a video. So make sure you're utilizing that pause button and the rewind button, taking good notes, writing down the examples, and go ahead and give everything a try by yourself before you see how I do it, and then you can use it to check, especially if you think you already know how. So these should be pretty easy for you, so go ahead and pause the video, write them down, and give them a shot. Okay, so this one, we just add the numerators when the denominators are the same, so we get 6/7. This one here is the same, the denominators are the same, so 1 plus 3 is 4. Now, we know that 4/8 can simplify to 1/2 because they both have factors of 4. So show whatever you need to. Subtraction works the same. Denominators are the same, 5 minus 1 is 4. Now these both have common factor of 2, so that simplifies to 2/3. Can you see that? No. There you go. Perfect. Okay, so when it becomes a little bit trickier is when the denominators are not the same. So 8 and 3, we need to find the lowest common multiple between them. And honestly, if you don't find the lowest one, you could always just figure out the first one and then work backwards to try to correct it afterwards. But it is easier if you find the lowest. The lowest common multiple between 8 and 3 is going to be 24, so I'm going to multiply this by 3 over 3, and this by 8 over 8. So it's going to be 3/24 plus 8/24 is 11/24. There we go. And you can't simplify it. When you find the lowest common multiple, you don't have to go back to simplify most of the time. Sometimes you do. Okay, this one, 5 and 10. We only have to multiply this one by 2 over 2. Then we get 4/10 plus 7/10 is 11/10. Now in algebra we don't always have to convert fractions to mixed numbers because do you remember slope last year, rise over run, really easy, nice when you have one common fraction and not a mixed number. But we could always reduce it depending on the context because in word problems it's nice to have that. Okay, mixed numbers, right? When we have whole numbers, I find it easier to add the wholes and then to add the fractions separate. Otherwise, you're having really gigantic common fractions. This is just 7. Now 7 and 5, we need to find a common multiple. Well, 7 doesn't have any zeros or 5s after it unless it's multiplied by 5. So it's going to be 15/21 plus 7 over, oops, not 21, sorry, 35. 1 over 35. And that's 22 over 35. Don't forget the 7. If you think that's something you would forget, highlight it, put it in a big box, put in the answer thing, and put the 7 down, however you want to do it. There's our final answer. Okay, over here, we're going to have 2 plus 3, and 1/6 plus 2/3. Let's multiply this one by 2 over 2. So it's going to be, here, let's put our final answer here. 5, that's 1/6 plus 4/6 is 5/6. 5 and 5/6. There we go, done. Now if this was a bigger fraction, let's say that was, I'm going to do a separate example here. Let's say our final answer was something like 4 and 4/3. We don't want to leave it like that. We already have a mixed number, so the answer should be a mixed number. So let's take this 4/3 and convert it to 1 and 1/3 and combine it with that 4. If you wanted to go the other way and turn this into a common fraction, make that 12 plus 4 is 16/3, that's fine too. However you wanted to go and do it. There you go. Okay, subtracting fractions. Common denominator would be 10, so let's multiply this by 2 over 2. 8/10 minus 3/10 is 5/10, which we know is the same as 1/2. Easy peasy, right? Well, how come I made these both this? Oh, easier than doing anything else. 4/10 plus 7/10. Oh, that's the exact same problem as before. Let's make this minus. Boom. 4 minus 7. Well, that's going to be -3/10. So again, we ignore this denominator once we know it's common and just subtract the numerators. And there we go. And then mixed numbers is going to be the same. Kind of. 5 minus 4. And then we're going to do 5/8 minus 1/4. Multiply this by 2 over 2. 5/8 minus 2/8 is 3/8. 5 minus 4 is 1. Put it all together. This is where it gets a little trickier. This is going to be 4 minus 2, but don't do it yet. 1/6 minus 3/5. Okay, the common multiple is going to be 30. Multiply this by 5 over 5. 6 over 6. 5/30 minus 3 times 6, 18/30. Now, we're going to have a positive number over here and a negative number down here. So what you can do here, remember that this was 4 and this was 2. What you can do is borrow a whole from this guy and turn it into 3 and 30/30, and then the 5/30, right? So basically what we did, if we have 4 pizzas here, we cut up one of them, and we've got 30 slices. We're cutting it up to 30s. So that's 3 and 35/30, right? So we just sliced one up. We're borrowing it. Minus 2 and 18/30. So that's 3 minus 2 on this side. And we've got 35/30 minus 18/30. Well, 35 minus 18, right? Don't be afraid to do out the math. 17. So we've got 1 and 17/30. Go ahead and rewatch this side if you really feel like you need to. The key part was putting that whole number back so that way you could take one of the wholes and slice it up into little bitty pieces to combine it, right? Think about it. If you've got 4 slices, if you've got 4 whole pizzas and then one that was cut up into 30 slices and you only have 5 left, well, you could always slice up one of those wholes into 30 slices and now you've got 35 slices, even though one of them makes up a whole pizza, right? You're taking those pieces so you can take some away. Okay, that's it for your notes. Check them over. When you are done, go back to the Google Classroom to see what is next.